We're live. Hey, wow, my internet connection wasn't working there for a second. What's going on, Dean?
How are you, Jim?
Oh, I'm fantabulous. You know, as things go, couldn't be better because no one cares if you're not doing well.
No, they don't. They actually don't. It's the truth. You know, when somebody says how you doing, what they really means, I could care less.
That's right. Hey, how's it going?
Polite.
You know, I bet you there's somebody did a study somewhere, like of emergency room hospital. That would have been a great thing to do if you were a sociology major in school.
Oh, yeah.
To just go in to the emergency room and go from room to room. Go, hey, how we doing in here? And see how many people that were missing limbs would say, fine, you know, not too bad. You know, just that they're missing limbs. They're you know, got a 2x4 sticking out of their cranium, and they're still saying, you know, I'm not too bad. But that leads me to the topic that we're going to talk about today, which is
automatic responses and how you can use them to your advantage as a copywriter.
That's what we're talking about today, Dean.
Automated responses?
Yeah, so knee-jerk reaction type stuff. When somebody, you know, it's like that thing of people's knee-jerk reaction. If you know what people are going to react to, how they're going to react, then you can plan for it. You can use it.
Mm-hmm.
So, as an example, we know that most people don't trust salespeople. So you can use those things to acknowledge the thing that's going on in their head. Most people think, okay, I don't have enough time. I might make a mistake. There's certain things that people are worried about that you just know. There's an automated response. Oh yeah, sure. Of disbelief and things like that. So if you know this is a point in your sales letter where somebody's going to go, yeah, right. Oh yeah, right. And you can say in your sales copy, now at this point, you might be saying, yeah, right. That's not, how is that even possible? And that's where you would insert a proof element. Or when somebody is, I don't know, just that was the one that I was thinking about, was just, you know, objections and things like that, anticipating people's reactions, whether it's objections or need for more information or things like that, where they're just automatically these switches get flipped, you know? Yeah. What are your thoughts, Dean? I'm gonna pause now.
Period.
You always wait for that breath and the period. So there's been a period.
Okay. I don't want to stamp over your flow here.
You don't want to stamp on my period?
Nope. Don't want to do that. That's
okay.
So I think it's really important when you know whether it's hyperbole or you know there's an objection, there's a few things you can do. One is definitely address the elephant in the room. Call it out immediately. Because when you do that, that shows that you are, it shows you're in sync with your audience, and you can, and you signal that you understand where they're coming from.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you can even say, now at this point, I need to address the elephant in the room. And that is, and then it's whatever the objection is. Now at this point, you might be thinking, and you tell them what naturally they might be thinking. You know what I mean, right. Dean? Like, Absolutely. What are you thinking right now, buddy?
Well, I'm thinking, I wish I had some peanuts. So one of the other things to do too is to validate your audience. Say, I understand where you're coming from. You know, I agree, because I've been there too. Yeah. I know exactly how you feel. So now you're showing empathy with your audience by doing that, because everybody loves to be validated. And you're not just doing this out of lip service. It's because, hey, I created this, or I'm telling you about this product, this offer. I'm telling you about this valuable content I'm giving you because I was in a place where you were. I was a doubting Thomas. I was taken advantage of. I allowed myself to be a victim in that sort of situation.
Right.
And one of the other things too that I've done with that is I said I can understand, and I've done this in copy before, and I continue to use it. Is I'll say I understand how you could be cynical or even skeptical about this, and I hope you are cynical or skeptical. You should be cynical or skeptical,
because that shows you're a smart person and you really want to understand what's going on. In sales, belly to belly sales, did you ever sell door to door? Did you ever sell on 100% commission in order to feed yourself, Dean?
I did. And I did it when I was young. I was like 9 or 10 years old selling. I sold TV guides on my bicycle door to door and greeting cards.
Okay.
Door to door. But
and
not,
if you didn't sell those,
what's that?
If you didn't sell those, did it mean you wouldn't eat? Your dad up in New Jersey would beat you with a switch. You know, your mom went hungry type thing.
I would get beat, but it didn't mean. But the thing is, this was money for my pocket, and I collected coins when I was a little boy. So there were like certain, Lincoln. I wanted a 1943 Lincoln penny, and those Liberty had dimes and things like that. So to me, that was survival. That was eat, but it was never, eating. But to me, I was just so passionate about that. I had to sell, or else I wouldn't be able to buy those coins.
Well, I had to sell in order to eat and not get thrown out of my apartment.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother level of stress.
Yeah.
And I remember my first real professional sales trainer manager I ever had. I was working at Grand Furniture. Was like my fourth job out of the 7 that I had that either got quit or got fired.
How many month period from college? That? 4 jobs.
So I worked there. I worked my way up to being the #1 salesman in the store. And I was doing some things that nobody else was doing that they adopted company wide. Like, for example, one of the things I did was
you used their furniture first and then sold it to them.
I would, yeah. But one of the things that I would do, I don't know if this is helpful or not, but one of the things I would do would be I would go through the customer roles, people that had bought stuff, and I would send a handwritten note inviting them to come into the store. And if they brought the note, that I would give them 10% off their entire purchase because we had leeway as salespeople. So what I did was, I'm getting feedback. I'm not sure if that's from you or it's weird. I can hear myself, which I normally can't. It's probably you. Let me mute Dean and say, it's gone. It's your fault, Dean. You probably have the microphone too close to the speakers.
Really? Let me put it.
Yeah.
Bring it closer to my face.
Okay. Yeah, much
better.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happened was I started having these people come in the store and see, we operated on an up system, whoever was up. So you might go 6 hours on a weekday and we were 100% commission. You might go 6 hours without talking to somebody. And if they came in and you were up and they were just looking for something you didn't have, or they were just looking. I mean, they really were just looking. And a lot of people who go furniture shopping really are just looking. Then that was your up. That was done. You were done. So you might go 2 days without selling anything. So what happened though was that if someone came in and asked for you, you didn't lose your up and you had a customer to work. So I was doing the furniture store would pay for all the postage. They would pay for all the cards. And I had hours of time to sit there with nothing going on. So I was sending between 30 and 50 cards a day to people I didn't know who had bought from Grand Furniture before. And I started getting 2 to 3 people coming in every day asking for me. And it pissed the salespeople off who had been there for a while, because then the company started saying everybody needed to start doing that. And so they were pissed because they were old retired military guys that didn't want to do anything else. But I digress. But I was going down memory lane thinking about that, working a list. That was working a cold list, by the way. But my sales trainer, my sales manager, Buck Daniels, told me, he said, no matter what anybody ever says to you as an objection, he said, remember, feel, felt, found. I understand that you feel that way. And then he would, and in the past, I felt the same. Or if I was in your shoes, I would feel the exact same way. But then I found, and this was the solution. So that's your instant empathy. That is your instant formula for being able to flip an objection, or at least semi-neutralize it, or at an absolute minimum to just acknowledge it. Because like you said at the beginning, a lot of times people just want to be acknowledged. They know that their objection's BS. They know there's no solution for their objection, but they just want someone to acknowledge that they're not a jackass and that their feelings are legit. And as soon as they get acknowledgement, for a lot of people, that's fine. You see what I mean? So just that formula right there, you know me, I'm all about formulas. That feel, felt, found. It's always a great way to approach it.
So if you're into comedy, there's a wonderful comedian, one of my favorite, Brian Regan, and he's got a new Netflix special on, and
the guy from Kansas City.
Brian Regan, no, he's originally from Miami, Florida.
No, isn't that the name of his?
No, Brian on the Rocks, because he's doing it from the Red Rocks in Colorado. It's an outdoor concert during this goofy age of COVID, but I've
been there, by
the
way. I've been there.
Yeah. It's
Red
right
Rock.
above me where I am. Yeah. It's lovely. He's got a joke. He goes, hey, you know something never saw before on Facebook. I was on Facebook, and there was this real heated political discussion going on. And then one of the comments was, hey, you changed my mind.
That's a lie.
You changed my mind politically, but it's that exact same thing. People want to be acknowledged and they want to be heard. They want to be validated. That's it. That's all we all want, right? I mean, you want to hear it. You want the love from your two dogs. You want the love from your wife. You want the love and be valid. Grandpa, you're the best.
Yeah.
You're going to stay the week. Come on.
Exactly.
In, right?
Go tell Nana that stuff you want off Amazon's okay with me. Go ahead.
Yeah. Come on. Let's we'll pre-order the next Warcraft,
Those little brats, man, the little darlings, they know how to work me. They're like, Grandpa, I got this $25 gift card I've been saving since Christmas, and I want that. I want this thing. Well, how much more do you need? $100? What? I love you, Grandpa. All right, tell Nana I said it was all right.
Our thing as a kid, just Dad, give me 10 cents so I can get some taffy.
25 cents for a comic.
Yeah. That's what I'm going, boy, I'm rich if I had a quarter and I could get a comic. But it's so important. I mean, anytime in your copy, whether it's in your emails or sales copy or in your video, to acknowledge, especially if it's a first touch, right? The first time they're coming, if it's cold traffic, you want to know that it's the old know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
I mean, the know and the trust comes from validation. It comes from, I hear where you're coming from. I feel your pain. I know what you're going through. I know what you've been through. It's that empathy.
And it's like, and part of the way that you convey that is by acknowledging the thoughts that you're pretty darn sure someone is either feeling or about to feel or has felt up to this point in your sales letter. Another way you can do that is with your story. That's one of the reasons why we tell stories, especially like the Epiphany Bridge or the background or the, backstory, whatever you want to call it. because a lot of those objections they have, concerns, thoughts that they have automatically get either neutralized or addressed when you go through the story. They're like, the biggest one is, who are you and why should I listen to you? Why are you qualified to talk to me about this? How do I know that you've been through the problems that I've been through, or that you know how to overcome the problems that either I'm going through, or I know that I'm going to go through, or I believe I'm going to be going through? All of those, how long is it going to take to get results? Is this something that can happen pretty quickly? What kind of, what is your mindset on all of this? Are you trying to do this? Is this just a get rich quick thing? Are you committed to where I'm going? Maybe you think about the Epiphany Bridge script where it talks about, this is where I was, this is what I wanted to do. Then something bad happened. Then something really bad happened. Then it really went from bad to worse. Then I really made a decision. I made a discovery. And then I started working it. I figured some things out. I was able to get where I wanted to go eventually. And then I realized that my real mission in life wasn't to do this, but to help other people by blazing a trail, not so that I could lead and that others could follow, to be able to get this result. And that's why I'm so happy to bring this product to you today. When you just tell that story, they're like, oh, okay, this guy's been where I've been. This guy knows what I'm going through. He's been there, done that. He's teaching from experience. He knows how to get that result, and he's committed to my success. Boom. I mean, you don't have to address a lot of stuff that you would if you didn't tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
So
you looking at comments here?
Yeah, I was just looking at some comments and stuff. Vonnie says, and this is really good, sometimes in our life we don't need someone to solve our problem. We just need someone who listens. Dude, that's the whole.
That's a woman. That's my wife. I don't need you to fix me. I just want you to listen.
Yeah,
I just want you to listen. That's it. So, I mean, that was really, for most guys, that's really hard because we're fix it, we're handy manny. We got to fix it. Give us a problem so we can tackle it. And I just learned this years, I finally learned, just learned to listen. And all I want to say, I understand. I know how you feel. And then you're going to be making love that night. That's all the words a guy needs to say. I understand.
That's the whole men are from Mars and women are from Venus thing, man.
It is. And it's really simple. It's simple, but for a guy, or even for what, it's not easy, right? Because that's just we don't respond. Most people react. We have an emotional trigger and we just want to, it's the reaction. I got to talk. I know you're talking, but there's a thought in my head and I got to get what I have to say out before you finish. Sit back, take a deep breath, listen. And you get into the habit of not having to have that knee-jerk reaction anymore once you start saying, okay, stop talking, shut up in your head.
Well, since you linked badonkadonk to it, it's easy to shut up and listen, Dean. I was just, but it's kind of hard to link that to making sales on the internet, is what I'm saying.
Oh, you're doing it through copy. You've got to start off like we started off the conversation. I hear what you're saying. It's a one-way. A sales letter is really a one-way conversation,
right?
With your viewer, where you've there's that imaginary dialogue going on where you're answering questions and you're responding in your copy or in your video as if you're talking to that one person.
Right.
And they're just intently listening because you've already listened to them, because the answers that you're giving in your copy are in direct response to knowing ahead of time what their objections are, what their pain points are, what their desires are, what they want, who they are now, where they want to be, where do they want to get to, who's that identity that they want to step into. Those are all the questions that you're asking and answering for them, because they've already done the talking.
Yeah. You've done your detective work.
It's Poirot.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sherlock
Holmes.
Yeah, April says
I like it.
Yeah. Your
April
smile-
says my smile is kind of creepy.
Honey, you ain't seen nothing.
and April says, thanks for listening.
There you go.
Thanks for listening. Your smile is really creepy.
That's right. So that's why
So
I
I
don't
didn't hear
do
anything. I know you were listening, but as I was talking, I forgot what I was talking about because your smile is so darn creepy. I got lost in my own thoughts.
I got lost in your creepy smile.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So Vonnie says, this is interesting, though, to understand your customer avatar and stuff, because Vonnie's sharing some information about women. Women keep talking multiple things. They're multitaskers. Men can only focus on one thing at a time, and they get overwhelmed by listening to multiple things, so they're not present while listening. But women just want men to listen, not to provide solutions. I think there's a lot of validity to that from the standpoint of my own personal life, what I've learned over, as spending some time with women since, well, the beginning. And I would say that is pretty darn accurate. That's why you got to understand who your avatar is, because if your avatar is primarily men, then you can be solution driven in your copy. If it's primarily women, you have to provide solutions, but you also have to provide support and acknowledgement and
Tons of empathy.
Empathy. That's the word I was looking for. The empathy. It's writing from an empathy standpoint, which I'll admit is hard for me sometimes.
It is, especially, and it's something that you have to step into, right? You got to get used to it. Because I would say half my clients are women. And the way, depending on what it is, because there are some women who are alpha, right? They're, if they're corporate, then the language can be very similar, because then they're speaking to a diverse audience, men and women. But if women are speaking to women, especially in the alternative health and healing, the spiritual space, if it has to do with any kind of products that are strictly for women, you've got to change that tone. Or you're going to lose them. You can't use certain, axe to the head masculine copy, like,
sure,
right?
And it won't. The bottom line is they may not even know why, but they do know that the copy just doesn't feel right.
Absolutely.
And that's honest to God truth. I was talking to our mutual buddy, or do you know Dave Lindenbaum? You know Dave.
Yeah.
He was telling me he's a part owner now in a fertility, in a company that sells fertility stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's writing all the copy for them. And he said it's been a real journey figuring out how to write copy on such a personal subject. And it's been totally different than anything he's ever written before. But
well, it's right. And it's like that discussion we had on Monday Madness for the funnel review for Wendy Laidlaw, who does, about endometriosis, right?
Yep.
It's just it's a very difficult condition. So you've got to step into that pain as best as you can. And the only way to do that is to listen to things that women have gone through and what they deal with, and not just the thing itself, but how does that thing affect their entire world, right? Guys tend to localize and focus. Women, who are by nature nurturers and caretakers, they're thinking of everybody else first before they think of themselves. So how does that kind of pain, it's like women who have severe cramps every single month for 3 to 5 days. How do young girls, how do they go to school and focus if they have a test that day? How do they come home? How do you do homework? How do you have a sane conversation with a friend? How do women go to work with something like that? Or if they have got endometriosis, where they've got deadlines and they have work and they have to they're networking with coworkers every day. I mean, they've got to fix a meal. They got to get the kids off to school, and they got to worry about thinking about their husband. They're thinking about everything except the pain and the discomfort that they're going through first. So it's incredibly important to step into that woman's shoes and to your audience's shoes when you're talking to and I won't even say women, I'll say a feminine audience or a feminine point of view, to be very aware of that, because if you're not, and you don't know how to communicate that and to speak to that audience, you're going to lose them. You won't even lose them. You won't even capture them first, because you got to capture them first to lose them or get their attention first.
Right. It's
Right.
a lot more holistic approach. It's a
Absolutely.
lot more it's examining all the different aspects of their life, not just, like you say, localizing that
Right.
to that one issue, because they don't tend to think of, like, men are like, let's just fix this. But ladies are like, here's my problem, but this problem radiates into other areas of my life that it's affecting, and
Right.
and a lot of times, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this. You don't know what you're allowed to say anymore or not, but a lot of times women will feel guilty even looking for a solution, because they're putting themselves ahead of
It's selfish.
others.
That's being selfish.
Right. And
I agree. And
Yeah.
they just want, even in pain, with, like, when my daughter would have these severe cramps, and if I could, it's like The Exorcist, take me. If I could take that pain, I would do it. But you can't, you're helpless. So we look to fix things. And my daughter would say to me, Dad, I don't need you to fix me. Just please listen. Just listen. And that's all she would want me to, is just to sit there and lend an ear.
Right.
That's it. She just needed a sounding board without a sound coming back out of my mouth to her.
Right. And so in your sales copy, you could say, now at this point, you might be thinking, this is almost selfish to think about making this purchase. I'm not supposed to put myself ahead. If you're like some people, it's not supposed to put yourself ahead of other people. But I'm here to tell you it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, yeah, okay. He said it's okay. They said it's okay. What's up, Void Tech?
Right. And that's really important. What you do right there is say it's okay. You give someone the permission to feel, and you are never wrong for how you feel. Ever,
Right.
ever, ever.
Right.
And most people don't get that permission.
Right. Now, what you do in response to those feelings can sometimes land you in jail, but it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. Now, whether you act on that, that's a different court. But that's okay. Any other thoughts on this, or anybody got any questions or thoughts on what we talked about? This was, just talking about anticipating people's reactions in your copy and addressing it. We talked about feel, felt, found, and how that's always a way to be able to address what people are dealing with, and to acknowledge and to validate them, and then to steer them in the direction you want them to go. Troy said, sharing in my group, live event marketers. Thank you for doing that, Troy. Appreciate that.
It's really easy. So, and again, this goes back to your product or service or offer.
Mhm.
It's give people what they want. And as product creators or course creators, we can get really stubborn and resistant and married to our baby. We really can, instead of thinking or taking the approach that, what does my audience want? Not what they need, because your product or offer or service gives them what they need. But what do they want? Give them what they want first, then lead them to what they need once they're in the fold,
Or
once
just include
they're
it.
on board.
That's my thing's always been: sell them what they want and include what they need. That way
Yes.
they'll be happy. I mean, it may include all the stuff that they need, but only talk about the stuff they want. And then at the bottom, you can say, oh, by the way, it also includes this, 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 and this. And then that will justify in their logical brain to be like, oh yeah, I probably am going to need that too. So,
Right.
and then look, it's included.
And as somebody who is, as a product creator and an offer creator, it's really important to know and distinguish between wants and needs, between desires and needs.
Yeah.
And always supply the desire, a solution to the desire and to the want.
Sure. People always buy what they want. They rarely buy what they need.
Yeah.
We all want a new car. We
Yeah.
need to save money for retirement.
We need to get someplace.
We need a new cell phone, or we want a new cell phone. We need to exercise for an hour every day. Which one of those you think's happening? You know?
Oh,
So-
man. I mean, the consumerism was all about wants. It's certainly not about needs.
Yeah, but that's anticipating people's reactions and just their responses. That is what it is. Somebody asked, I don't know who, because it says Facebook user, says,
like
is there an empathy wizard or a wizard in that vein?
Well,
You know, the big
yeah,
thing
the avatar.
I was just going to say, take that one, Dean. You can answer that.
Absolutely. The avatar in funnel scripts, the Webin avatar in fill your webinar scripts. It starts with that. I mean, anything, any product, offer, sale, service is going to start with your avatar, which Facebook user includes. It's the questions that are asked to help you fill in the fields, to fill in the blanks. It's all empathy derived. It's all empathy driven, because it asks, what are your challenges? What are your desires? What are your roadblocks? Where are you now in your life? Who are you now? And who do you see yourself to be in the next few months or year? Where are you going? These are all questions of empathy and questions that signify that, hey, this person understands me, because they're asking questions that no one else is asking me, but yet they're so important. And these questions are really simple questions that get to the root and the heart of if you do this avatar, if you get I promise you, get funnel scripts, get fill my webinar scripts, because when you do, and this is a definite, blatant, transparent pitch, because it'll help you in every single aspect of your business. Because when you do that, when you see this avatar and Webin and the Webin avatar wizard, you'll know your customer better than they know themselves. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
And they will
And we've
feel
proven it,
listened.
too.
Oh yeah, they'll feel listened and heard, and makes things super, super easy. Oh, Pete. What's up, Pete? Pete's out on the West Coast.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. You've met Pete. Remember Pete and Mindy from the gym boat?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I
Good.
do.
Are you lying? You really don't? You're just saying that because you feel
No,
like
I
you should
remember
know
them.
who they are? Okay.
They
All
may
right.
not know me, or they may deny it. How was that sauna?
I gotta get my sauna.
Oh, man, it's the best.
I gotta sell my car so I have room in the garage, because Terry says I can't put it in the bedroom.
I use my sauna. I'm up as soon as I get up in the morning, I stretch and I get into the sauna and I meditate.
Do you do the sauna before you go exercise?
I'll
Like before you
stretch.
do your walk?
Here's what I do. I get up. I'm up at 4:30. Then I stretch. Then I go into the sauna for 30 minutes and I meditate. I read in there. I get out. I take a freezing cold shower. And then I put my swimsuit on, and then I go to the pool, and then I swim.
Okay.
And then I come back. It's before 7, and I'm drinking my my protein shake,
Kombucha tea.
and then I'm ready to rock and roll.
There you go. So I'm looking at a couple other questions. We can take a couple questions. Vonnie says sometimes people don't understand what we're talking about, but they don't admit that they didn't understand what we just told them. They just say, "Yeah, I got it," because if of that, they don't end up taking the next step of buying. What do you do in that
Okay.
place?
So, do you want to take that, or do you want me to take it?
I think the thing we talked about this, I think last time, or maybe I talked about it. I don't remember. Talked to so many people, but we talked about, I'm always of the opinion that the responsibility for communication is on the person doing the communication. So the person who's doing the video sales letter, the person who's doing the sales letter, it's incumbent upon you to make sure you understand your ideal customer. You don't put any onus of understanding on them.
Mm-mm.
So I think that if someone is in a sales situation and they're doing that, it'll be reflected in their lack of sales. Ultimately, they'll be found out for being, I guess you would call it, a fraud, not really paying attention. So I think the way to avoid that as a customer is you really can't. And the way to avoid that as a marketer is to make sure you're not doing that.
Right. So, Vonnie, to me, I'm just going to be very direct with you. You say sometimes people don't understand what we are talking about. That's something that you need to fix. You need to communicate exactly what it is you mean so you can attract the right audience. Because right now, if people aren't understanding what you're saying or what you're talking about, you're confusing your audience. They don't know what you're talking about. So you've got to find a way. How do I say this? And it doesn't matter whether video starts with copy. A sales letter and text starts with copy. An email starts with copy. So it's incredibly important that you have to know exactly what your offer is and start with, who am I serving? Your avatar. What are their challenges? What are their desires? What are their roadblocks? What are their objections? What do they want? How do they feel? You've got to know those things first before you can.
Who do they see themselves to be, and who do they want to be?
Yep. And who do they want to be? Identity. People buy because of their identity and where they are now. They're lacking in something, which is why they need something to fix that or to fill the hole that's lacking. Whether it's when people go to the store and buy aspirin, they're not buying aspirin. They're buying pain relief. They're buying relief for a headache. So it's
and even a specific type of headache. They know that
Absolutely.
so much that there's like Bayer, same damn aspirin, but it's Bayer for migraines or Bayer for, it's they
and
know
Tylenol
that.
PM, pain for just the night so you can get a good night's sleep, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
you need to be that specific with knowing your audience's wants, their desires. And once you know that, then it's incumbent upon you. I'll use Jim's word there. It's a great SAT word. It's incumbent upon you to find out exactly how to speak to them. You need to know, how does your audience talk? How do they communicate? So you say, well, how do I know that? There's several ways. You can send out a question or a basic 1-question survey to your list. You can go into Facebook groups, look at forums. You can go to and read and see the words and phrases people are using. You can go to Amazon, look at book reviews on the topic and read the comments and the reviews that people are giving, not what they thought of the book or it's good or bad. You want to look for the emotion. Oh, this book really, oh man, I love this book because I found it did this for me and I felt this way. Look for the feel words, the emotional words. So those are just 4 ways to find out how your audience is communicating. You have to go where they are.
Right.
Then you can bring them to where you are because you've got the right bait and the right hook now to capture them.
Right. And who was it? Juan over on the website asked, "Hey guys, any specific tips on how to discover someone's wants versus needs? What are the steps for such detective work?" One way that you can figure out what people's wants are versus their needs, I'm going to give you one. There is a site that will give you billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of verified sales research on what people want versus what they need. And Dean already mentioned it. It's Amazon. Go look and see and pretend if you were your avatar, if you were your customer, start typing into Amazon whatever you're focused on, whatever your questions are, whatever your problems are. Literally type those in, and you want to look for two things. One, does Amazon present solutions? Chances are they will. And the second thing is, how popular are those products? How many customer reviews do they have? Now, it doesn't need to be the number one product on Amazon, but if it's, again, talking about headache stuff, how do I get rid of a headache? Go type that into Amazon and see what comes up. I'm sure there'll be aspirin and stuff, but there'll probably be educational stuff. There will probably be information. There will be other things, and that will show you what people want. That will show you. The other thing you can do to really help do that research is inside of Funnel Scripts, also inside of the Jim Edwards Method Premium, we have the Niche and Offer Detective Wizard, where literally you can put in your keyword, the main focus. You can put in who your target audience is. You whack a button, and it will prompt you to do a ton of different research on Google, Google Trends, Amazon, YouTube, Instagram, all these different sites where you can see what people are looking for, what they're buying. And that's really how people demonstrate their wants versus their needs comes down to action. Literally, it comes down to the actions. What are the things that they're commenting on? What are the things that they're buying? What are the things that they're reacting to? Those are the wants, not the needs, because they're not even focused on their needs. They're focused on their wants. So there's a couple of answers for you on that. And look, Wojtek even said Niche and Offer Detective Wizard from Funnel Scripts helps a lot. Juan, very good. Say that again. I don't remember what the hell I even said. How am I going to say it again? Tayshawn says, are the scripts on getting traffic on Funnel Scripts, or would it be beneficial to getting Traffic Secret Scripts plus Funnel Scripts? You need a bundle package. Funny enough, you should ask that, Tayshawn. If you go and buy Traffic Secret Scripts, we will make you a special offer on Funnel Scripts on the very next step in that funnel. Go check it out today, and your wish just might come true.
Why don't you promote it? Put a link in there for them, Jim.
Oh, go to trafficsecretscripts.com. Here, I'll put a link in it.
Do I have to do the selling for you? See, I know what you want. You don't.
Bean's just saying, damn, I should have had my
affiliate link.
Yeah.
For this. I should have put my affiliate link in there.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm putting it in there.
Okay, so
somebody said
Bonnie,
Niche Wizard. It was the niche topic detective wizard. So whoops, Periscope didn't get your comment. It was probably filtered. Periscope filters anything that looks like spam. Try another. What the hell? Am I getting thrown in Periscope jail now? This is like going to a foreign country and get thrown in jail. I get enough trouble with jail with Facebook in my own country. I don't need to have a problem with the tweeter bird. So there you go. Hey, I have a new t-shirt coming though that I'll probably have next week that you're really going to enjoy. I actually have 2 of them coming.
Is it soft brushed cotton?
I hope so. I did order them in extra large though, simply because I think they're going to shrink based on the source. So
nice.
There you go. You'll see. You'll know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure I will.
All right. Well, we got anything else we want to talk about there, Dino?
No. Vonnie asks one question. What's the definition of business apart from search for a problem and solve it? Well, if you're looking
for a price,
for a price and a profit.
Yeah, for a profit. That's a business. Yeah.
Yeah. Just make an offer.
Good to me.
Everybody make an offer. Start with making offers.
Here you go, John. because it's got 2 S's in it. TrafficSecretsScripts.com. So I put it in over there. All right, cool.
All right.
All
Fun
right. Well,
time.
I think that does it for the Jim and Dean show, or the Dim and Gene show. If you had dyslexia, Mr. Pickles.
Thanks you for joining us. Even though some said that Jim's smile is a little creepy, I can understand how you might feel that way. I felt the same way too. And then I found that Jim's smile is genuine, not creepy.
Cool. All right. Well, Dean, any final words? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm good. We said a mouthful. Pickle Polka.
I'm going to Busch Gardens in June. Terry's favorite artist, Guy Harvey, will be there, so I'll be able to go to the fest house with my mask and not drink beer. Oh, by the way, for those, somebody asked me, is that royalty-free music? Yes, that's royalty-free music. I officially licensed that polka. Have no
Hey,
fear, my friends.
look who's here. Jim, look in the comments.
Jesse! Oh my God.
Yes, we are.
I wish you were here, Jesse. Jesse, if you want to come, hang on. Okay, we're going to have a special guest appearance. I'm going to see. I'm going to put Jesse being a smarty butt. We can have her join us. I got to come on. Here we go. Jesse, I'm sending you the link in Voxer. Jump on real quick. Come on. Oh, come on, jump on.
Nobody cares what your hair looks like.
That's right. Dean doesn't care what his hair looks like.
Nope. Come on, Jesse.
Are you going to jump on, Jesse? Ah, yes.
Be brave. There we go.
Jesse, what's up? She's crashing. What's going on, girl?
Well, I was working and I was just scrolling Facebook and I saw you guys. I'm like, you're cheating on me, is what I feel like right now.
Hang on. Let's analyze that statement you just did.
Okay.
I was working and scrolling through Facebook. Oh my gosh.
I had some things on social media I had to like, comment, and share for work. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, we'll support you. Awesome. Well, for those of you who don't know Miss Jessie Valle, is it Ms., Mrs., or what should it be?
Mrs., I guess.
Mrs. Valle, Professora Valle, and Dean and I do.
I feel like we have to behave now.
I know, really. The Monday Madness show we do on Mondays on this and other channels to promote Funnel Fridays. We write copy together. We critique funnels. You want to make sure you show up to Funnel Fridays. Next Friday, we give away amazing share funnels. And then if you use one of the share funnels, you have a chance to have Dean, Jesse, and myself actually critique not only the copy, but the tech and the setup of your funnel. It's a great deal. So if you've never joined us, you should, and you can go actually sign up for Funnel Fridays for free at funnelfridays.com. So awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Jesse. Good to
I'll
see
have
you.
to join you at the beginning of the show next week. I mean,
those-
not on. I mean, just to watch you guys, of course.
We gotta let people know. For those of you who are new to Jesse, Jesse is the director of marketing at ClickFunnels.
That's right.
For Russell Brunson.
That's right. So in the hierarchy, here's Russell, here's Jesse, here's
Here's
Dean.
Jesse. Here's Russell.
Okay, and then
Oh, no,
here's
don't
Jim.
start that.
Here's Jim. That's like that movie, A Shark's Tale. Here's Russell. Here's Jesse. Here's whale poop. Here's Jim. Here's you. You remember that from that movie?
I do.
That's
I do.
funny.
But
Here's
you didn't
Will
even put
Poop.
Dean on that list. So where's Dean? Even under the
No,
you and
Dean's
whale
right.
poop?
Nah, Dean's right under you.
Okay.
Dean's much higher in the hierarchy than I am. So awesome. All right, cool. Well, that was fun. Thanks for making a in Hollywood, they call this a cameo.
Do I get a royalty for that?
I will send you, Dean is going to send you a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's a walk-on.
Yeah, that's right.
Special guest.
That's right. That's a walk-on with no resulting restraining order. So well done. All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.